All right, we're going to do some examples now. Some of you may have tried example number 1 on your own. Maybe you've gotten it. So for this one, it's already in standard form. I have ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, it's p and p, but you get the idea. The number in front of p squared is a. The number in front of p is 10. That's the coefficient of that one. And then the constant out here is c. C is 5. So you're going to be asked to identify all 3 of those. And then we're going to use our formula, which is b squared minus 4ac. You won't have to write that a bunch of times. It's on the worksheet for you. So I want to see the substitution steps. So like I said, I'm going to put every substitution in parentheses. So I'm going to substitute b in, which is 10. I'm going to put 10 in parentheses. Minus 4 times a times c. I'm then going to type that in my calculator and get an answer, which you will see is 0. So I get 0 here. And if I go back to the other page, I need to see what 0 gives me. It says if the discriminant is 0, there is 1 solution down there at the bottom. So the discriminant was 0, so therefore there is 1 solution. This is your final answer. These are all the steps I expect to see when you get to the classwork. I expect you to identify A, B, and C, write the substitutions, plug in your calculator, and then give me a final answer. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do the second one. This one you do have to rearrange to get in the correct form first. So go ahead and pause that video. The first thing you're going to have to do on this one is add 9 to both sides. So I'm going to add 9 here. Notice I put it underneath the like term on the left-hand side. And I get negative 6x squared plus 7x plus 3 equals 0. It always has to equal 0 to do the quadratic form, or to do the discriminant. Take a moment and finish the problem if you weren't able to. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, how did you do? If you see, here's A, it's from right up here, B from right up here, and C from right up here. And then plugging in B squared, don't mix this up. A lot of people want to put A right there. It's B squared minus 4 times A times C, which is 121. And if I go back to my rules on the first page we did, if it is greater than 0, meaning it's a positive number, there are 2 solutions. So that tells me that there are 2 solutions to this equation. And the last example, if you want to go ahead and pause the video and give that one a shot, you got to do lots of movement here. Some of you might opt to move the 9b squared. Others will move the 8b and the 8. That's what I'm going to do. So if you wanted to do it the same way as me, you want to do that. But pause the video, take a moment, see how far you can get. All right, here's my work for this problem. So the first thing I did was I added 8b to both sides, and then I subtracted the 8 from both sides, and I got this equation. Have to set it equal to 0. You could choose to add 9b squared to both sides. It'll get you the same thing, just change the signs. It'll still work. So for this one, I have A, B, and C. I plugged it in my calculator. Notice I don't have to put the time sign. I literally just use the parentheses inside my calculator. It'll do it correctly for me. And I got negative 224. On our notes, if it's negative, that's less than 0. Below 0 is a negative number. That means there is no real solution, and we'll get imaginary solutions, which we'll go into later. So now you're ready to try the couple of problems you have.